Well, it's in flux. A lot of I was just in my class yesterday talking about this very issue. They're like, "Well, I don't understand. Why does this guy come up and then fall down, or she comes up and come down?" Well, it's the nature of modern politics. I mean, a candidate gets hot, they go viral, so to speak. They capture it, but then you got to understand if you're going to run for the presidency of the United States, you got to be really ready for this job, and it is an all-encompassing job. And you've seen Mitt Romney kind of stay steady, and the latest challenger is Gingrich, and they're taking shots at him now, of course. I think it's a wide open race. I still consider Barack Obama the favorite. Uh, he's going to have at least $1 billion to spend, and he's going to have a lot of labor union money because they are going for broke, as you saw recently in the elections in Ohio and other states. So I still think he's the favorite, but I think in Florida that a Republican can win. And I think that Mitt Romney can win. I think Newt Gingrich still has some things to prove. But I have stayed out of the race as far as endorsements. Had Jeb Bush run, I would have endorsed him. Had Mike Huckabee run, I would have endorsed him. But they're not running. But I've spent a lot of time with many of the candidates. In fact, they came to visit me either in Tallahassee or other parts of the state. I think Mitt Romney would be a good president. I think Newt Gingrich would be a good president. I'm sure there'll be a look now at Huntsman and Santorum. They've not risen up yet, but I was very aggressive, as you know, about moving the primary up. I think that makes us a more important state, especially at the state of Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. I think there'll probably be one or two, probably two people left come to Florida, and we might decide this thing because there's a big gap after Florida, and I think it's good. And people have asked me, well, you're going to lose half the delegates. Look, I've been at conventions. I teach about conventions. Last time there's a convention with any fanfare, at least on the Republican side, was against Reagan, Ford, 76. Before that, on the Republican side, maybe you could say Eisenhower in 52 with Taft. But those are we know who's going to win when you get to a convention. It's a rah-rah modern infomercial. On the Democrat side, the last time you really had a convention fight, maybe the VP nomination, Estes Kefauver beating JFK. So I believe that the convention is nice to have in Florida. It's a big rah-rah event for Florida, but it's pretty much it's just a coronation process as opposed to a nominating process. And so I think we made the right decision there, and I think it's good for our state because you're going to see a lot of action here in Florida.